well. The Stealths, after going down 0-2 to Frost, have a long way to go, really, to get into the playoffs, and a 2-0 against their sister team, while unfortunate for the Falcons, would really help them out because it would tie them up with Zenix Storm, and that means that they could force a tiebreaker with a 1-1 split as long as Frost 2-0 Storm.
Well, game number 2, picks and bans underway between the Falcons and the Stealths. Rengar and Nunu banned out versus the Jin Air Stealths, of course, and then Lee Sin and Riven banned out against Falcons.
Yeah, we're seeing the same bans.
Yep.
So far this game. The question is, will they give that Nidalee over to the Falcons again? They were able to deal with it last time, but if those sieges had gone slightly differently, perhaps if Ice Bear hadn't landed a couple of hooks,
okay,
it may have
ban against Trace.
Yeah, it may have turned out pretty differently. Well, that's interesting. I
Not
guess
a bad idea, though.
they don't want to first pick it. The Lucian is available for a first pick should they take it. They will grab the Elise instead. A little bit more high priority in the Falcons' minds.
I guess so, but Lucian immediately grabbed by the Jin Air Stealths. I think a little bit of a joke there. Hovering over Nivea first, of course.
That's right.
Nivea and Annie, I mean, apparently they look a lot alike, so people mistake them for each other. It's happened quite a bit this season.
I have that problem in real life, mistaking birds for little girls.
That's true. Giant frozen birds to tiny little girls with giant flaming teddy bears. Yeah, I can see that. I'd love to see somebody accidentally pick it and then have to play support to Nivea too. We've seen it before. Not the accidental pick, but we've seen someone intentionally play support to Nivea before in Champions.
Yeah, it was Mata.
That's right.
It was Mata on what was then MVP White.
Yep.
And is now Samsung Ozone.
That's right. So Renekton and Sona. So no solution for the Jin Air Stealth this game, it looks like.
And a much more standard composition from the Jin Air Stealth, or from the Jin Air Falcons in this game. They're not looking to pull any more tricks that wouldn't appear.
Seems that way. We'll see.
So the Jin Air Stealths, are they going to go for a more Lucian-oriented poke comp, or are they going to take this into a more 5v5 realm with their support Annie? They've got a couple of options right here to build a relatively balanced composition, and wow, they're going big on the team fighting, it would appear, this game, if they lock in that rumble.
And it appears they will, and man, Jarvan would be huge as well for that, and they do. Of course, Cataclysm and an Equalizer, one of the old tried-true combos of champions here in Korea.
And Cataclysm with Tibbers as well. A lot of such good engage for the Jin Air Stealths in this game with the Equalizer, the Flash Tibbers, and the Cataclysm.
I kind of like the Graves as a response to the Lucian. If they want to go 2v2, he is sort of anti-bully.
Yeah, he can really get in there, get into the mix, and trade strong early.
Awesome, we're going to see it. Cool.
And Zed coming up as well. So what the Jin Air Falcons are doing this game is trying to create picks. A lot of single target burst coming out of Graves and Zed. So they
They need fight fever.
Yeah, this is interesting because the Falcons definitely are going to excel in duels, in small skirmishes, and they do not want to fight the Stealths 5v5. Stealths have insane early dragon control if this Lissandra gets locked in.
Yeah.
Insane. I mean, once all of them hit 6, there's nothing that the Falcons are going to be able to do unless they have an intense lead to 5v5 team fight against the Stealths. I hope this Lissandra does get picked up.
It looks like it's going to be. I mean, only 10 seconds left, and a lot of times they'll let that last timer tick down to let people get the runes and mastery set up, so I don't anticipate a change.
Now, Trace is going to need some solid equalizers here because they're going to be relying on him for sustained damage with his ultimate in the team fights because they have so many ways to lock people onto it with all of the CC that this composition brings. But immense engage potential coming out of Jin Air. And we have seen Lissandra come up as a counter to Zed simply because you're able to eliminate the threat of the death mark by either ulting yourself if you're death marked or ulting him so he can't get that damage in while his ult is ticking for the big burst at the end.
Right, exactly. This is going to be really, really cool. We'll see how this ends up. This is going to be our most like straight up game of League of Legends that we've had all night. It's been a fast night too.
It has been.
Yeah.
I really like what the Stealths are doing right here. It's also showing different dimension to their play, going for these big team fight compositions.
Yeah, definitely. Lucian versus Graves. That should actually be a really entertaining matchup to watch if we have the 2v2. I mean, Graves, one of the few 80 carries that may be tanky enough to stand up to that Lucian. We'll see. Ice Bear on Annie, though. Can have those stuns, but Sona with the sustain. So really just a very anti-Lucian lane. We'll see how it works out. Stealth versus Falcons. The game is loading up. It's time. Let's see if the Falcons can tie it up 1-1 or the Stealths take the 2-0. It's game time. Actually, it's taking a while to load. All right, so now it's game time. Game time, almost. Now. See, the games have been so short today, we need to stretch out the loading times. That's the key. Group D, set 2, JIN Air Falcons versus the JIN Air Stealths. Rinder. Sounds like he should be like in some Tron movie or something, you know?
It's a good name. I like it.
It is.
It's unique.
It is.
Sounds cool.
Wow. An original, well thought out Korean player name. Wow.
Incredible.
You don't see that very often. I like it. Congratulations, Rinder. Nice ID.
Well, they're going to come in for the 5-man group here, JIN Air Stealth that is, and make their way for some early wards. They're going to get seen by the ward here at Red Buff, and that'll trigger the invade by the Falcons as well. So each team going to get some nice wards down here, and yep, they'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by their red, and then immediately head into the jungle.
Some recalls.
Now Sona going back, so I guess they're not going to go for their own set of deep wards, holding on to them for the laning phase. And instead, the Stealths will back off and go to their blue buff. Dangerous against the AoE from the JIN Air Stealths to go into a 5v5 at level 1.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to really try that.
And it looks like we are going to get the 2v2 and the 1v1 lanes here after all.
Okay, yeah, just standard lanes so far, it looks like. Yep. Indeed. So, yeah, the most straight-up game of League of Legends we've seen all night.
Okay, well, so this is the deal. The JIN Air Stealths are going to have that insane early dragon control once they all hit 6. But the JIN Air Falcons are probably going to be looking for the classic Sona Graves all in at 6 to prevent the dragon from happening in the first place. So it's going to come down to the Falcons. They really need to pick up kills or force the Stealths back at that juncture, because otherwise Trace will probably have an easy time rotating down and helping his team to pick up that dragon. And there's not going to be a lot that the Falcons are going to be able to do without a pick. They can also rely on Zed to catch someone in the middle of a rotation. But in a straight-up 5v5, that's not a fight they're going to win. And as long as things stay even, the Stealths just have a lot more power right there. Real Foxy coming in. We haven't seen a lot of Jarvan since his nerfs. Has made his EQ combo harder to hit.
Yep. Just kind of walking through, making his presence known, though. A lot of this game is going to be decided in who wins the bot lane. So far, pretty even. The ward's starting to die out in the jungle. As you can see, Hoon dodges that cocoon.
Tries to bait him going back in.
Yep.
Could be dangerous, though.
Yeah, oh, speaking of dangerous, Loyal in a little bit of trouble, has to pop that barrier. Mystic comes in, gets exhausted. That could have easily been a kill for the Stealth. Starlast has to back off. Ooh, that was really close.
Yeah, they do have that sustain, but they burned more summoners, losing both barrier and exhaust right there.
Yeah.
Only Ignite used for Annie.
Now, Ice Bear does have his stun up again. Loyal needs to be really careful because there is a flash. And Axie and Hoon may be in a little bit of trouble. It's a flash cocoon. Hoon dodges it with his own flash. Rinder in a little bit of trouble, backs off, doesn't get knocked up by Jarvan.
Yeah, you can see they're already trying to make these aggressive plays.
Yeah.
Trace, however, pushed the turret. He's going to be okay with that. You really don't want to overextend his rumble in the early lane. But the camp on Hoon already pretty strong right here. They're very concerned about his ability to carry, I think.
And that said, Hoon already up in CS, forcing Zed to go back. Had to use his flash, but Rinder's flash has been used too, so it's okay. And Mystic actually catches Starlass in that stun. Starlass has to use his flash now. Loyal backs off. And man, they've got them so low. Annie Lucian solidly winning this bot lane.
Yeah, they've played appropriately aggressively in this situation.
Yeah.
They know that if they start to give the JIN Falcons a lead here with this Graves, that they're not going to really be able to come back due to that lack of sustain in their lane. So by going kind of all out here, they've managed to make the most of their trades, burn a lot of summoner spells, keep the lane pushed, and force an early back and a loss of experience from Loyal and Starlass. But Starlass made a big mistake right there.
Yeah.
Face checking that rush was not smart.
Really tricky stuff. I think what happened there is that Ice Bear was saving his stun, because a lot of times if you want, you can just hit your shield real quick, get your stun up, and so then you have Mystic going down to that brush. Starlass tempted to go in and maybe get some poke off with the Q, but walked right into that one. I like it. Really tricky moves from the stealths.
Yeah,
it's neat.
Well, a lot of early game investment here in Doran's items from the Falcons as well. They need to translate this into some sort of edge, but look at this. An early, I guess, yeah, not quite going for that dragon. Looks like they back off. Just going ahead, giving it a little check. Real foxy here with a pink ward in the river brush. They're going to go ahead and push this up. They see Annie from behind.
Well, I think
they haven't.
I think they're aware that.
Yeah, they're totally. They're going to be aware of it. We see some pings going down right now.
Yep. Well, how long are they going to stand there? That's the question now.
Maxine still trying to make a play on Hoon in the mid lane. He's been very active about camping it, but they're coming in from behind. No wards there, actually.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be, nice two-man stun from Ice Bear. Really, really good, and they're going to get first blood. There it goes. Mystic picks that one up on Starlass. The attempted gank in mid lane was not successful. Beautiful, beautiful stun from Ice Bear.
Well, that's another one of those situations where they knew Annie wasn't in the lane. They didn't have vision on Jarvan, and they thought they were safe-ish, staying that close to the turret. But the chain of CC right there was very well executed by the stealths in order to pick up that kill. However, you got to be careful when you're blind in those situations, and you haven't seen the jungler for a while, especially against this Annie with that hard CC.
Yeah, well, that flash W is just dead on, and that can be just as scary as getting hit with Tibbers once in a while, too. And unfortunately, Starlass learned that one the hard way. Ice Bear has just been making the plays. Really, really impressive stuff.
It's amazing how this entire team has improved, not only in terms of their shot calling, which we praised so heavily last game, but in their individual playmaking ability as well, including the fact that they've got this new jungler now.
Oh, can he lock him up? Tries to lock up Rinder with the ultimate. He does indeed. Can Ice Bear get there in time with the stun? Deathmark onto Ice Bear. The stun in response. Ice Bear probably going to go down to the Deathmark. He does.
Nice play by Rinder to turn that one around. A good decision to come onto Andy right there.
Really nice. Oh, they lock up Axine, though. Axine getting a bit too aggressive. Can't quite finish off Hoon.
Yeah, Hoon living with the potions right there. Will go ahead.
Well, that's really too bad for the Falcons, too, to have Axine kind of give one right back to the stealths after that nice play from Rinder.
Yeah, beautiful play from Rinder.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of skill and a lot of high-level decision-making to read this appropriately. Look at him coming around, down to less than 50% HP, turns around onto Ice Bear. Ice Bear does get the stun off, but it's not before he gets some damage from his combo, which allows that death mark to pop.
Well, Ice Bear wandered a little bit too close to the turret there, too, and took a hit from that. If he hadn't, he might have been able to survive it. Then Axine deciding he wants to be generous, donates one, tries to get the kill onto Hoon, but a little bit too much of a risk there, as we saw.
Yeah, Hoon going for that Seeker's Arm Guard nice and early here to deal with the laning presence of this Zed, get that armor, and the Zhonya is starting to stack up. Really, of course, the decision you want to make in this situation. Axine and Rinder, though, looking for a dive.
Yeah, a bit of a three-man dive coming in onto Trace, and he may be in a little bit of trouble here. Level 7, he does have the equalizer. Going to drop it. Miso coming in with the ultimate. Trace flashing back under turret, can't survive, and can't quite get enough turret damage on to the Jin Air Falcons to live through that one.
However, they will respond with a smart dragon right here,
Why not?
pulling it out, popping down the pink ward, and this is the great reaction to that. When you see the 3 people up in that top lane, including their jungler, got to take that quick dragon, got to react in some way in order to make sure you don't fall further behind, and they will trade global objective for global objective.
Yep, why not? Trace heading back to lane again. That one death not going to hurt him
Now,
too badly.
I like what the Falcons did right there in terms of trading that, because if you're the Falcons, you know you don't have a chance of that team fight a dragon. So what do? Right after Rumble hits 6, when he could be rotating down, you go up into the top lane in order to take the tower that we see fall right now and get a kill out of it. You're giving them effectively dragon anyway based on the virtue of their team comp. So instead, you turn it into something for yourself as well to keep the game even.
Yeah. Well, the turret's evened up now by the Jin Air stealths. Falcons want to respond with this mid lane turret. Hoon has that AoE. Needs to be a little bit careful about the all-in from Rinder, but yeah, he's going to be fine. Real Foxy was right there as well. Real Foxy.
Yeah, another blue handoff coming for the Falcons. Falcons not down too much right now, but they need to be worried and they need to get some vision up. It's so critical that they start making picks here in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, the Jin Air stealths are just going to overwhelm them with their dive potential, their crazy amounts of engage.
Well, speaking of vision, I mean, look at the bottom jungle. Look at how many wards stealths have down there.
Well, they know that they can't be affected by these rotations, and they've already got that edge. They've turned their gold lead into wards so that they can start to group. As we're seeing right now, they're coming in looking for Graves.
Yeah, they might be able to catch Loyal here. I'm going to settle with the red buff, though.
Uh-oh, Rinder. He's not going. He knows it's too dangerous right now. Too many unknowns.
I wouldn't want to go into that jungle right now.
Ice Bear has done a great job of playing with enemy vision this game because it's sowing a lot of seeds of doubt in the Falcons' mind in terms of their duo lane, especially combined with his vision control. Just the fact that he's off the map and they have all of these pink wards is causing just so much pressure.
Yeah, and you know, you see a lot of times on support Annie that Ruby Crystal first just so you can get in there and brawl in lane more, but he went for the Philosopher's Stone, so it just shows what a commitment to wards and vision he has this game. Very, very cool stuff. Trace gets caught by the Cocoon. Can he get away? Rinder coming in. He's going to pop the Death Mark onto Rumble as well. Equalizer can't really quite go down, but it's a fight. Hoon coming in to try to mix things up. Rinder goes down to the turret and some damage from Hoon. Can he finish off Axine? Double kill, actually, meanwhile, for Mystic. In that bot lane, fights going on in different parts of the map right now. Stealth's going to take a tower out of this as well.
Yeah, and they're going to take at least one. Somebody needs to recall right now. They can't afford to base race, but they're sticking up in that top lane, so it looks like Starlash will come back up in time, and that'll force them, at least the stealths off. Yeah,
now.
So it's just coming in, Flash Timbers over the wall, knock up onto Starlash in the back line. Crescendo doesn't actually hit Mystic right there, so he's able to continue putting down damage, and a good use of the culling to finish it off. There's the passive. Boom, boom. Block the last tower shot with the barrier.
Nice little move by Loyal. Trace actually going crazy. Taking down Axine, trying to defend that turret. Miso barely escapes. I liked Loyal's move in the end of that last fight to try to run towards Lucian to get on the other side of the culling, but a little bit too little too late.
So Trace right there didn't even have Equalizer and still managed to take out Axine, so perhaps a little bit of an error right there from the jungler, but he went for the boots of mobility first on this Elise. You know, he's trying to be everywhere. He knows that they have to make the picks.
Yeah.
It's very clear that they can't team fight this stealth team composition. So with the boots of mobility, he's going to be able to create a pick, go back to base, heal up, and be there that much faster. But they're starting to fall behind more and more, and the Falcons should be worried.
Yeah.
They just didn't accomplish what they needed to accomplish in the bottom lane earlier. Although the Falcons' decision-making to take that top turret and dive is okay, and they're at least trading objectives for it, which is keeping them in here. They're going to need clearly a lot more of an advantage, because the thing about the stealths is they will always be able to team fight even if they're behind better than the Falcons.
Yeah. There's the equalizer just to push people off of that mid lane turret. They will be able to take it pretty easily. Real Foxy deals the killing blow.
Good decision right there, because if we look at the Dragon timer right now, Equalizer will be back up just in time for the
That's
Dragon.
a really good point, yeah.
And so they wanted to use it right there to get the tower. Now they can back. Now they can set up the Dragon. They'll have all their ults to use again. Good sense of timing from the stealths.
That's really cool, actually. Rinder trying to get this lane back to where he wants it to be, trying to push that one up. See if they can even it up. They're going to be able to get that mid lane turret. Tying that up.
Yeah, nice counter pressure right there, but
Yeah.
they are just only starting to do damage to this bot lane turret due to how badly Loyal and Starlast lost that lane. And with Mystic there to go ahead and clear it out, they're going to get control over the Dragon area quite easily. Rumble starting to move down. He's got 20 seconds, so this is going to be pretty much perfect for the Jin Air Stealth. Trace again, showing how good he's gotten as a player. Pops the equalizer. It'll be up in the nick of time. He'll be there in the nick of time for Dragon as well, so just a smooth rotation.
Yeah. 2 seconds, and there's the Dragon. There's the Banana World.
And there's the equalizer as well.
Yep.
Love what we're seeing from the stealths here.
Well, they are ready to fight this team fight if they need to. Axine poking a little bit with those spiderlings. Starlast looking for position. No flash, but he does have Crescendo available. But I don't think that Falcons can fight this.
Well, the stealths are itching for a fight, as you can see right now.
They're
trying to bait the Dragon. And will they actually go for this? Real Foxy uses his combo to get in, and yeah, that's an uncontested. Look at what they're doing, too. The response is to invade red, not even trying. They know they can't deal with this.
Yep.
So every time there's a threat of that Dragon, they go up to the top side of the map and try and do something, whether it's taking a buff, making a dive, and turning that into a tower.
Ooh, but here comes a push down the mid lane possibly from the stealths, and they could catch Rinder here. Has the Living Shadow over the wall.
Okay, well, it's 4v2 right there, but they're not going to take any risks. But look at this, they
Oh,
may be
this is
caught.
gonna be insane. Yeah, Lysandra coming in the middle, a huge ultimate equalizer going down on the top. Starlast looking for an opportunity. Use that Crescendo already. Loyal, nice knockup coming in from Real Foxy before he goes down. And there goes Ice Bear in the middle. Another huge stun coming in from Ice Bear right before he dies. Double kill, though, for Rinder. And the culling not quite finishing off Miso. So a messy fight. Ends up being 3 for 3.
Yeah, but Mystic's at full HP right there. Zed
Yeah.
doesn't have his ultimate to use, and that's going to translate into tower damage. And they used all of their burst onto Axine right here. So get him down immediately. Again, he has virtually no combat stats because of his boots of mobility early on. Grab Loyal, but this doesn't give them a solution to Zed, and that's really the problem right now, is if they want...
Oh, that was so good.
Wow, that is a great stun
Ice Bear
from
is
Ice Bear.
amazing tonight. Man.
And that'll be the cleanup as well. Trace and Mystic, of course, they're the high damage champions on this team composition, especially with Trace going heavily into the magic penetration early. That's exactly who they wanted up. They didn't get a tower out of it.
Yeah.
But they got the pressure advantage. They got damage on the turret at the very least.
Man, Ice Bear, he wants that MVP twice today, I guess.
Yeah, they do have to be a bit more careful, though. They have to save some of these abilities for Zed because, yes, they took out Axine pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
But Axine isn't the damage threat here, right? Like, yeah, he had some of that CC. Zed is the one they have to save those abilities for, because if they don't, and Zed is close by like we saw right there, the cleanup potential after their cooldowns have all been used is huge.
Observer is pointing out that Yomu's Ghost Blade actually bought by Rinder rather than that typical blade. Changing things up a little bit.
Well, he is going to be able to split push better with that in terms of taking out towers, but Miso has found himself a little bit caught out.
Yeah, there's a Cataclysm. Does he have Slice and Dice to get out of this? Turning on to Real Foxy. There's a Slice. Miso escaping. A flash from Hoon. They're going to try to take him down, and they do. Using that flash. Meanwhile, Rinder does take the bot turret.
So the Yomu's Ghost Blade is going to turn him into pretty much a pure split pusher right here.
Yeah.
He can pop it to get extra damage down on the towers. And the Falcons are doing everything in their power right now to stop the 5v5s from happening. He's saying, I can take towers so fast with this Ghost Blade that you are going to have to send somebody to deal with me. And the 1v1 potential against what we see the Jin Air stealths running is in favor of Zed. So again, they trade an objective right there. Yes, they lose a champion, but the JIN Falcons have been making good trades, and it's keeping them in this game. It's keeping it close with only that 2K gold difference.
Yeah, this is a great game.
I'm impressed by the Falcons' shot calling again. You know, their strategy, their grasp of the game is good. And same thing with the stealth.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just feels like it's little sort of mechanical things here and there. They're just kind of getting outplayed in team fights and skirmishes.
Or getting hooked under turret or not, you know, it's just not perfect.
Exactly.
This has always been the weakness, is that the high-level concepts of what the Falcons do with Reaper on the team, like we saw that fast push. The thing about that fast push is it's a great idea, but it's just not perfectly executed. They didn't have the wards on their flanks. They allowed Trace to get into their back lines. And so unless when you have these really intricate conceptual ways of playing the game, if it's not perfect, it just will fall apart. With standard picks, you can have an imperfect game and still win.
Yeah. Well, Stealth's rotating down that bottom jungle now, and that means they'll just be able to clear out pretty much whatever they want. And are they going to get that favorable team fight? Real Foxy thinking maybe I can come over the wall right there, but not quite. Man, Hoon is just a monster right now, too.
Yeah, he finally finished his Sonya's Hourglass, so going to help out. He's got 2 forms of immunity in these team fights, so he'll be able to bait quite a bit. And now
Flash Crescendo does lock up 2 members, and they're going to follow that up with Graves' ultimate as well. Equalizer comes down onto Starlast, and a few other members. Loyal on the outside of the fight gets knocked up and trapped by Real Foxy. Meanwhile, on the back lines, Miso doing a lot of AoE damage. 2 kills for him already, and actually the Stealth needing to back up a bit. The culling comes over the wall, but can't quite catch anyone.
And Rinder's Zed play has been spot on this game. If you saw what happened, it happened very quickly. But this is what the Zed changes allow you to do in team fights now, and made Zed even better in team fights. You know, less capable of 1v1ing people and really pushing, you know, punishing in terms of split push. But the fact that his shadow remains behind now got him into the fight. Just watch Rinder right here. So they get the good crescendo right there. Hoon gets burst down, forced to use Sonya's Hourglass early. So what he's going to do is Rinder's going to come in, and he gets the ult on him, but it allows him to do burst and then get out of the team fight. So this change to Death Mark makes Zed better in these particular situations because he has increased escapability. He gets in there, gets some good shadow slash damage off, and then gets out of dodge before he dies.
Yeah. Zeds that live. Revolutionary stuff, huh?
With the Falcons right there and their good engage, they cut that gold lead that the Stealths had by another 1,000, and we're looking at a really even game.
Well, it's almost non-existent. Yeah, I mean, 4 turrets to 4 turrets as well. This game is really anybody's at this point.
Rinder is an impressive mid laner, and he knows how to team fight as well, which is something that you don't see a lot of times from these new players, but that Zed play, solid.
Well, it's going to be another dragon fight. Quite possibly. We'll see.
Ults are still down.
Yep. Ults, well, only Tiber's down for stealth.
And
that's a pretty crucial one.
Oh,
and Cataclysm.
Yeah, they need those.
Almost up.
Ooh, risky.
Now they're going for it, counting out that Cataclysm being up. Maybe they can zone with it. We'll see. I mean, you always do have that AoE stun.
No
W
crescendo,
as well. They're going to go in. Here we go. Stun on Miso to try to keep him on the back lines. Crescendo, yeah, way back. Real Foxy a bit trapped in the middle there. Miso jumping out of the Cataclysm. Deathmark goes down. Zed does back up without a lot of damage done. All right, so Dragon is taken by the Stealths, I believe.
Yep, was taken by the Stealths. And without the crescendo, they just don't have a good engage tool. The JIN Falcons are very reliant on the crescendo in order to get in there and deal damage, because Rinder needs that time due to his squishiness to actually deal the damage that needs to get done.
Yeah. No, the thing is lanes are starting to push in favor of Falcons now, too. Everyone had to go back after that Dragon, and that's allowing the Falcons to push a little bit more across pretty much all the lanes.
Yeah, they're still dead even on towers, but, you know, with Trace, you can see he's picked up the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, completed that item. So that just gives even more of an initiation and mobility advantage to the Stealths. It's going to be extremely difficult for the JIN Falcons to get a good engage. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Stealths, unless they can get picked repeatedly by the Falcons, are looking like they're going to come out on top here.
We'll see.
Interesting. Mystic now picking up the Bilgewater Cutlass for the Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah.
This is not the same build that we've seen from a lot of these Lucians. Typically they go Bloodthirster into Last Whisper, but Last Whisper after the Trinity Force, so looking for the burst damage from the casting. And then he's also probably worried about the Zed coming after him, so he'll be able to pop the Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah, I think it's a
should
good
anybody
idea.
get into the back line.
I think it's a good plan. Big push coming down the mid lane. Ice Bear lagging a bit behind, though.
It's a bit surprising that they're pushing so far into the mid lane with 2 turrets still up and top.
Yeah.
But they'll just back off, I guess. Rinder has his blade completed as well, so he's a huge dueling threat. Uh-oh.
Oh, man. Yeah, I know. We were both looking at the minimap there. Rinder and Ice Bear almost ran into each other. Could still happen. Hoon coming down with his jet engines.
Now they've got
And Ice Bear thinking about coming over. Does he get the stun? There it is. They do manage to wrap him up. Can they catch up? No, not quite. It was close. Hoon just a couple pixels away from maybe being able to trap
the
Rinder.
Falcons using this time to take control over Baron as well.
Yeah.
So when they see 2 members down, they know it's safe to go through and sweep up those wards. This is just good distraction play from the Falcons right now. And this is such a cool game of cat and mouse. You know, with one team trying to split the other one up, the other team trying to get them all together and try and get an opportunity to use their team fighting composition. It's really fun to watch games like this.
Yeah.
And this is what I missed about the World Championship as well, because the Assassins were so good and we saw so many pick and split push compositions that we didn't really get this dynamic. And now that the team fight's kind of back, it's fun to see it going once again.
Oh, Rinder wants to fight Hoon. There's Azonius to trap that death mark. Rinder just waiting, though. There's a W to lock him up. Hoon backing off, trying to kite away. Ignite down onto Rinder as well. Ooh, that was so close. Whoa. Almost looked like real Foxy just launched Axine into orbit there. Oh, Equalizer catches a few members of the Falcons, and there's a Cataclysm counter crescendo, but I don't think they're going to be able to get out. Now with Ice Bear there, dropping the Timbers as well. They take down Starlast, chasing Miso now.
Yeah, but look at the Jin Air stealth. They're so desperate to try and pick up these plays. They only got a support for it. They burned a lot of summoner spells to try and make that happen. But they get the control again, but they're being forced multiple times by the Jin Air Falcons to split up right here. And they're playing into the strategy that the Falcons want to use. And it's all about Rinder and the game that he's having, because he's managed to get so far ahead that there's not really anybody that can duel him or deal with him at this point in time.
Yeah. You know, the thing is Miso, they're going to try to go in on this. There's a stun. I don't think they can finish him off, though. Miso just way too tanky.
Yeah, they back off immediately. Rinder,
they don't know where Rinder
see him
is.
with the wards.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Yeah, no, they know where he is, and that's what's going to cause them to not go all in on that. Instead, backing off to take the red buff instead.
You know, it's a tough position for the Jin Air organization right now, because you like to see both your teams doing well, but man, if the Falcons win, that almost guarantees that neither team is going to get out of groups. It makes it really tough.
I mean, it would depend obviously against the performance against Storm by the Stealths,
right,
and the performance of Storm against Frost. So there are a lot of unknowns so far.
It's risky, but you got to give it your all.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, it won't be the nail in the coffin for sure.
Yeah.
But it will put a lot more pressure on one of these teams. So, all right, coming in, more ward clearing right now, just standard methodical play in a very tight game.
Yep. And are we going to see a bit of a Baron bait? Looks like they're finally planning on maybe, no? I thought maybe they were going to finally take that turret. Doesn't look that way.
Just more clearing right
there's
now.
A ward right there.
They want to force. They want to force a fight, and they want to have the engage advantage. So the thing about the Stealths is their composition for siege isn't amazing. They can dive very well. They can engage really well, but they're just not. They're not really built to do a sustained siege. And with the wave clear coming out of Zed, Graves, and the sustain from Sona, of course, not going to be particularly easy for them to win. They have to get a fight in the open.
Yeah.
They're not far enough ahead to dive yet either. especially when you consider the counter engage from Sona. They will just get murdered under a turret. Here we go.
Can
trying
they
to
get
set
this
it up.
pick? Can they get this engaged? There's a flash timbers on the Sarlacc as they can eliminate the crescendo, and they do. This is the fight that the Stealths have wanted. They lock up Loyal in the back lanes. That takes out a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Mystic in big trouble here. Rinder does claim his first victim, but he goes down right afterwards. This is the fight the Stealths wanted, although Loyal turning it around, getting that triple kill, and suddenly at the end a quadra kill for Loyal, and the Falcons somehow come out on top.
And you know, we talked about this.
Wow.
Were the Stealths going to be able to use this big team fighting composition? It requires some good target calling.
Yeah.
And we're not seeing it here. Loyal allowed to live through the burst right there. And they're over-committing to killing Starlast. They used almost everything on him once again. And they got Rinder, but Loyal, the quiet threat on the outside, able to sustain his way through to an inhibitor.
You know, they hit Loyal with the Lissandra ultimate as well. I really, really thought he was just dead to rights right there, but it's just somehow making it out.
Impressive play from the Falcons.
Let's watch that again. That was a crazy team fight.
Yeah, now look how much they use just to kill there. They need the CC, so they managed to stop the crescendo, sure, but too much split focus, as we're seeing right here, and with Axine coming in order to give that extra CC. And the thing about Jarvan and Lissandra is they've got burst, but the Loyal had sustained and enough help from Axine that he was able just to DPS his way out of that fight. Horrible split, bad engage. The Jin Air Cells got too desperate to make a team fight happen. They could wait all day for that. They didn't have to make that call.
Well, if they weren't feeling the game slipping away before, they certainly are now. Falcons with the gold lead now, just barely. Kills evened up, they've got the turret lead. Gonna be another dragon for the Stealths. They'll be able to pick that one up, but not a huge concern for either side really at this point.
Well, it will even things up in terms of gold.
Yeah.
And, you know, as things stand right now, it's not really a big deal to have this inhibitor down because they are going to be able to clear out those minion waves with relative ease. And so there's not a tremendous advantage for the Falcons even after having won that fight. We maintain pretty much exactly where we were before.
Yeah. It's going to take a few more fights to decide this one.
Well, Graves Burst getting dangerous as that last whisper.
Yep.
I really like the change they made to Zed. You know, it stopped a lot of the problems with his... I mean, he's still a strong split pusher in this game because he got ahead early, which is, of course, how it should be, right?
Yeah.
It's an advantage and you can use it. But he's not as unbelievably strong as he was before. He's still a good pick, but he has more versatility now in terms of his team fighting abilities.
Yeah. Very cool, and we'll see. Looks like the Falcons thinking about maybe setting up a pick at Baron, but no, guess not.
Well, they're getting that vision control back. Ice Bear fighting for it, though.
Yeah.
Has to be super careful about this. Yeah, this is smart. He's staying just far enough away from the brush that they can't actually do anything. He's out of their skill shot range. So instead, he's just going to back, has that Oracles, knows that there's no
real foxy. There's the banner, yeah.
Just checking.
Yep.
So the Jin Air Falcons continue to have the problem of a suboptimal engage, but with the flash crescendo up, it's about as good as it's going to get for them.
Yep. Well, we'll see if Stealths can make something happen here. They need to really be careful.
Yeah, I love the QSS that we see from Mystic right now, so he'll actually be able to get rid of the death mark, and that leaves one less champion for Rinder to really go after.
Yeah, minions kill the bottom tier 2 turret in the meantime.
Yeah, it's pretty much going to be inevitable, of course. This is one of the changes that I really like about Season 4 is it's not going to make minions in all lanes stronger.
Yeah. I really like that one too.
Just because the comeback potential is difficult, makes it much more difficult when all waves across the map have that massively increased push.
Yeah.
Makes it far too easy to get Baron. I love the Baron buff change as well, where you can still team fight if you're down, but it just makes taking objectives that much easier.
Yep.
If you're the team with the buff.
Oh, will we see this fight here with Baron? There's a ward from Ice Bear trying to get in position. Miso right there gets spotted with the ward. And the Stealth's pretty hesitant to go in on this one.
Well, the Stealths are running on a timer. They're losing their towers.
Yeah, they need to do something here. Either going back or fighting, and they're going to pick fighting. Ice Bear gets locked up. There's the Timber Stun. Not bad. Crescendo over the top, though. And, yeah, Falcons immediately doing a lot of damage. Rinder out on his own. There's the cleanse from Mystic. Gets out of that one. They do take down Rinder, and Miso slowed up. Gets in the back lines onto Mystic. Can Mystic get away with that charge? He's trying. He's got the barrier up as well. Real Foxy and Trace on the run, and the Falcons chasing everybody down. Axine low, but still contributing, and Loyal picking up the kills left and right. 1 for 3.
A great crescendo there from Starlast to react to the Tibbers coming in. In fact, Hoon unable to use either his ultimate or the Zhonya's Hourglass to keep himself alive right there because the crescendo bought enough time to burst him down, and that was absolutely critical.
Yeah, now Baron being taken by the Falcons. Mystic just stuck at home, babysitting that dead inhibitor.
Well, they will give Baron over unless Real Foxy thinks he's going to get lucky. And
he's got Smite. He could try it. I think he's going to try it. I think you have to try it. Miso trying to chase him away, but there we go. He's coming in. Can he get it? No. Trying. No, not quite. He's waiting.
Oh, Baron started healing right there, actually.
He did. Yeah, Baron's still living. It's the immortal Baron, and Mystic takes
Oh, they're going to get 2 kills.
They
Oh,
are
my.
indeed. What in the world is this? Loyal
time.
trouble.
Okay, they got Baron, though.
They did. Loyal backing out.
Loyal
He's
able
so
to pick
low.
that up, but he's going to die for it more than likely.
I think
Hoon
so.
on the chase right here.
Yeah, trying to maybe execute himself on that turret. We'll see if he can. Hoon in hot pursuit.
Oh, he's healing up just a little bit.
Yeah,
pushing
he
the
is.
wave
Can he actually deal Hoon? He's going to try it. There's a W to lock him up. Equalizer over the top, and Loyal's not getting away from this one. Nice try, a bloodthirsty sport kill for Ice Bear, but now a little bit of revenge. Rinder trying to come in. Miso pretty tanky. They lock up Rinder with the anti-stun, though, and he may have overextended. He backs up. Ice Bear comes back in, and there's the harpoon over the top from Trace. They managed to do it. Miso a bit low. Ice Bear and Trace trying to take him down. Ice Bear gets stunned, backs up. There's the shield. He's still going. Miso gets the kill, and Trace manages to finally finish him off. Crazy
wow.
period of events. I don't even know what to say after that one.
Well, that was just a good delay. So right there, the Baron healing as well bought them more time. However, this inhibitor so low in the mid lane. Real Foxy looks like he may well be able to save it.
I don't know. That super minion doing a lot of damage to it. Getting distracted now by the minions, but I guess he will.
Yeah, so
able to
barely able to take out that inhibitor. Only 2 members of the JIN Falcons up. But that was a great delay by Real Foxy, just causing that threat on the outside. And the Falcons unwilling to go ahead and burst down that Baron. So, I mean,
Baron was the 6th man in that fight.
Yeah, it gave them enough time. They got extra damage on them due to Baron, and then Hoon able to show up with those home guard boots and make a play. And look at this, a little bit of a potential pick coming in. I don't know if they actually have enough damage right there. If we look at Axine, he actually just has tank items, so even if they did find somebody, questionable if they'd be able to take them out. But because of how fed this Graves is, they were able, they drew out 2 ultimates from Lissandra and Rumble, and then that in turn allowed Miso to get some cleanup down there. This is a wild game.
Yeah, really exciting game. I love it. We've really seen everything tonight, haven't we? From the trolliest of all troll games to one of the closest games of the season now. And can they get this big? Looks like they're going to try to bait with Mystic a little bit.
Well, I mean, we saw the Falcons managing to split up the composition early on from the Stealths, and that's bought them time. And, you know, Rumble isn't the best champion in the late game. He has that early game objective pressure, but, I mean, this Graves, Renekton, and Zed combo is terrifying right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoon still doesn't have a DFG or anything like that either. And because the JIN Falcons or the JIN Stealths are very bursty, right? Their sustained damage isn't the greatest. It helps that Lucian has built the Blade of the Ruined King this game. But since they're unable to really take out this extraordinarily tanky Renekton, and the fact is, look at what he's managed to buy. We have a double AP composition, but a while ago, the Thornmail was picked up. Now Rando is complete as well. But why would you get the Thornmail against a single AD? Well, the reason is because with the HP, the raw HP, he's going to be able to survive Lissandra and Rumble anyway.
Yeah, he's not going to get bursted.
So he itemizes to deal with the sustained damage in the fights. I like this decision a lot from Miso in these circumstances. And Lissandra does have the Void Staff, does have that Rabadon's Death Cap, but I like the way Ambition builds Lissandra and Faker with the fast DFG against a very tanky target without a lot of magic resist. It would certainly be doing work right now.
Oh, Axion coming in. They're going to try to get a bit of a flank here. We'll see if it works. Miso a bit trapped. Ice Bear trying to come in, gets locked up by the Cocoon, and that's going to be it. Crescendo over the top. Miso already in the back lines, and there is nothing the Stealths can do here. Equalize over the top. Boone pops at Zonia's. Stars a little bit low. The culling goes off. Doesn't accomplish a whole lot. 2 kills, triple kill. Make that all ready for Rinder. Rinder's chasing down Axion. Might as well give that up. Better to take the objectives now, but no, he's a bloodthirsty ninja. He's going for it while the rest of the Falcons take down those turrets. And with 40-second death timers, that is going to be the game. And the JIN Air Falcons coming back and getting the 1-1 against the Stealths. I don't think Axion's going to be able to stop this one.
No, he's not. And wow, the Falcons did a great job of stretching this game out, of forcing people to go into other lanes, of avoiding the team fights until they got strong enough. And it was all due to Rinder getting an early advantage as he shows off some dominating Zed play.
That was a really, really exciting game. And you could see disappointment on the faces of the Stealths.
Well,
they really wanted that 2-0. I mean, it's going to be tough to get out of the group.
Well, I mean, they still have their games against Zenix Storm.
Yeah.
And if they can go 2-0 over Storm, and they will still have a chance here.
Yeah.
But it makes it all, it just makes it even that much harder for the Stealths. The Falcons still have an opportunity here as well, should they do very well against Frost.
Yeah.